Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation today. My name is Shiv Shankar Vangimala. I'm currently an internal medicine chief resident at the MedStar Washington Hospital Center in Washington, D.C. Our research group focuses on clinical outcomes in inflammatory bowel disease. Our presentation today is titled The Role of Major Depressive Disorder in Inflammatory Bowel Disease and Epidemiological and Healthcare Utilization Analysis of the National Inpatient Sample Database. Our team does not have any disclosures or conflicts of interest to declare. To provide a brief background into our study, Kiefer et al. Previously hypothesized bidirectional pathways between depression and inflammatory bowel disease, where poor disease management can drive depression, and depression in turn could be the onset of IBD or clinical recurrence. Over the last few years, there have been many large population-based studies in Canada and European countries, which estimated significantly higher prevalence of depression in IBD patients and also its association with poor clinical outcomes. However, no such data or literature exists in the US population. Our study aims to determine the prevalence, epidemiological characteristics, hospitalization charges, and hospital outcomes associated with major depressive disorder in CD and UC patients. For this, we analyzed the National Inpatient Sample Database, which is the largest all-payer inpatient database in US, accounting for 20% of all hospitalizations across the country. Using validated ICD-10 codes, we identified CD and UC patients with and without major depressive disorder between the years 2016 and 2017. We excluded the prior years as the database before 2016 was coded with ICD-9 codes, and we didn't want to have any major discrepancies associated with ICD codes and coding. All adult CD and UC hospitalizations with and without major depressive disorder, either as a primary or secondary diagnosis, were included for analysis. We excluded patient records with age less than 18 years, records with incomplete variables or data elements, such as missing demographic information, hospitalization outcomes, etc. These excluded records accounted for less than 1% of the overall data. Ultimately, we compared CD and UC patients with and without concurrent diagnosis of depression for their baseline social demographic parameters, medical comorbidities, length of stay, hospital charges, and mortality. Overall, we identified 388,705 CD hospitalizations which met the inclusion criteria, of which close to 73,000 patients had an associated diagnosis of depression, accounting for roughly 18.7%. Similarly, we identified 228,000 UC hospitalizations, of which close to 36,000 patients had an associated diagnosis of depression, accounting for roughly about 15.6%. For the ease of analysis and comparing the demographic characteristics, we combined all the CD and UC patients into IBD cohort. Our analysis revealed IBD patients with depression tend to be older, with a mean age of 53.96 years as compared to 53.27 years, mainly female at 66.63% versus 54.1%, commonly white at 86.04% versus 79.44% when compared to IBD patients without depression. Also, IBD patients with depression had lower median income at less than $35,000 and were more frequently enrolled with Medicare and Medicare insurance programs compared to IBD patients without depression. IBD patients with depression also had more non-elective admissions at 85.33% versus 83.33% in those without depression. In both depressed and non-depressed patients, the hospitalizations appear to occur in large bed-sized and urban teaching hospitals. Subgroup analysis by region revealed increased hospitalizations for depressed IBD patients in the northeastern and the Midwest states, but lower hospitalization rates in the southern and the western states. We analyzed in-hospital length of stay and mean hospitalization charges for patients with and without depression in both CD and UC cohorts. In CD cohorts, patients with depression had a longer mean length of stay at 5.64 days versus 5.09 days for those without depression. Hospitalization charges were similar for the two groups at about 50,000 US dollars. In UC cohort, patients with depression had a longer mean length of stay at 6 days versus 5.52 days for those without depression. Hospitalization charges for the two groups was about 57,000 US dollars and 59,000 US dollars respectively, but the difference between the two groups was not statistically significant. Multivariable analysis for patients with Crohn's disease and depression as compared to those with Crohn's disease without depression revealed about 40% decrease in mortality, 21% increase in morbidity, 27% increase in major or extreme APR-DRG severity, and 31% increase in discharge to non-home settings. Similar multivariable analysis for UC patients with depression as compared to UC patients without depression demonstrated 20% decrease in mortality, 20% increase in morbidity, 31% increase in major or extreme APR-DRG severity, and 43% increase in discharge to non-home settings. Some of the limitations of analysis includes that the NIS database relies on diagnostic codes rather than clinical data, as a result of which there is little insight into the nuances of the disease process, such as the disease location, the severity of the disease, and its impact on prevalence of depression. Secondly, recurrent hospitalizations of the same individual are counted as distinct observations in the database, which may result in duplicity of records. Also, the database doesn't provide information on the treatment and the immunosuppressive therapy for these hospitalized IBD patients, which can have significant impact on the outcomes. To conclude, our study showed that there is a significant burden of major depressive disorder in IBD patients, especially more so in Crohn's disease than in ulcerative colitis. Older age, female gender, lower income, and white race were the major epidemiological characteristics of IBD patients with concurrent depression. IBD patients with depression had lower elective admissions and more frequent ED admissions. Though the hospitalization charges were similar for the IBD patients with and without depression, increased morbidity and increased discharges to non-home settings suggests an increased overall healthcare burden by these patients with depression. In the end, I would like to thank my co-authors, Dr. Chodan and Dr. Khanna, for the valuable insights and contributions to the project, Dr. Patel for the data analysis and the statistical work, Dr. Malhotra and Dr. Matar for the clinical expertise and continued mentorship. I thank you all for providing me this wonderful opportunity to share my research with everyone. And at this point of time, I'm open to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you again.